Etsy sucks, and I'm here to explain why. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Art by Madeline. Consider subscribing to join the cult if you're new here. We have a great time. We'd love to have you join us. And welcome back to my lovers, my besties, my life, my soul, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm saying, but I love you all. If you don't know, I sell stickers and prints on Etsy of my art. During my time on Etsy, I kind of noticed that there were certain things about it that I really did not like. And that includes like excessive listing fees or just lackluster customer service. But I hadn't really looked too much into it until recently when I got recommended a YouTube video by AcidPentagramPizza, her name is. And she describes her experience of getting banned from Etsy due to a listing that she hadn't even published, aka it wasn't even visible to the public. Essentially, the situation was that she had used a Scream logo, like the horror movie Scream, on a baby onesie, and apparently that's a copyrighted image. So Etsy banned her for having that on a listing that was not visible to the public. So if you would like to watch her whole situation that she had to go through, I'll leave a link in the description to her video as well as in the cards up here, whichever side it's on. I have a lot to talk about today, so we're just going to get into it. First off, I want to talk about the rising fees and just in general, fees that are stupid. So, if you don't know, Etsy advertises that they take 6.5% of the item total from whatever you sell, which in itself is pretty high. But then on top of that, they take a bunch of other fees that they do not advertise, including 3% of the order total plus 25 cents. For what? I don't know. The 6.5% of the item total, as well as 6.5% of the shipping total, listing fee of 20 cents per listing renewal. And then I also noticed that there was this random, let me pull it up, regulatory operating fee, 1.15% of the order total, excluding tax. Ooh, thanks, Etsy. Which comes out to 6 cents, but it's still something. Like, what do you mean regulatory fee? All of this comes out to being around between 10 and 20% of whatever it is you've sold. And I'm selling stickers. So the highest price that I've been able to sell my stickers for, which I'll get into more of why my stickers have to be so expensive in selling them on Etsy a little bit later in the video. It includes like details with like delivery fees and whatnot, but the cheapest I can sell my stickers for is like $5.65 per sticker. With Etsy taking 20% of my $5.65 per sticker total, after you take that 20% off, it's like just over $3 or something. And then take away the labor that goes into packaging it, making the sticker, the price of the supplies that I have to buy with my own money, and like my printer and all of that goes into manufacturing it, which I manufacture all of my stickers myself. So at the end of the day, I'm making like $1 per sticker. And it's not like I get that many sales in the first place. So, mostly the reason I'm still on Etsy is because, well, first of all, I'm only discovering all of this recently. And second of all, it's mostly just I'm trying to gain experience before I open my own website. And also, it's quite expensive to start your own website. So, I'm kind of stuck on Etsy. There isn't really an alternative at the moment for small businesses and creators that make handmade goods. Another thing that I found out in doing my research is for sales that are made from offsite ads, they take 12% of the item total that is sold from like someone finding it through an offsite ad. And if you're profiting a lot from one listing, Etsy forces you to take offsite ads. Like there's no option to turn it off for creators. And so anytime they make a sale from these offsite ads that Etsy is forcing them to have, Etsy takes 12% from the total of the item purchased from that offsite ad, if that makes sense. So, what is going on with that? They also have a free shipping policy where they encourage sellers to offer free shipping. However, this has been a policy in place since Etsy first started, and with rising shipping costs, it's becoming a really huge burden on sellers to have to pay for shipping. Like, for example, if I wanted to ship something from Ontario to Alberta, it would cost me around $20, which is why I sell my stickers by letter mail because I can't afford to pay $20 per sending out a sticker. Um, and you're probably thinking, okay, so just don't offer free shipping if you're unable to. No, 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 that's not an option because Etsy literally punishes you for not offering free shipping by making it harder for your products to show up in the search results. And so you might be asking, okay, so just increase your prices to make up for free shipping, right? Exactly. That is what Etsy wants you to do. If you increase the price of your listing, since they're taking 10 to 20% off of that listing, they get more money. So, moving on to the next point, we have the fact that Etsy's customer service is dog doo doo. And I'm just going to speak from personal experience on this because I was so frustrated when this was happening. So, when I first opened my shop, I to verify your shop, I think you need to send in a piece of ID to prove that you're the owner of the shop. But the name on the shop was my dad's name because it was our billing address on that account. So it said his name was the owner of my shop, but I had to submit a piece of ID of my own. So I did that and it was denied. So I tried reaching out to Etsy and I was like, okay, hey, my father, who has the same last name as me and lives at the same address as me, it says he's the owner of this account, but he's not. It's me. And they were basically like, you need to send a piece of ID to prove that you own this. I reached out multiple times and they said the same thing each time. And it was just it was like I was talking to a wall. Like they would just send out this same like email or like the same exactly written, the exact same message. I forgot to mention, they also claim to have a phone support to call, but when I tried calling, they didn't have a number. So, what I ended up having to do was send in my dad's ID for it to like be verified on my account that it's like mine. And that didn't even work at first. I had to do it twice for it to finally get approved. If they had just asked, okay, well, could you just please prove that this is your father? I could have sent in proof that this is my father, and they could have been like, okay, so get permission from him or something to make me the owner of the shop. Anyways, it was just a really stupid situation. And I've heard from other people that had similar experiences with customer service on Etsy where they'll reach out and then it's literally you get no help. Like, and this goes into the next point as well, which is random or unwarranted account suspensions. There are so many creators on Etsy who have had random account suspensions for what seems to be no reason at all. And what they hear from Etsy in the explanation of why their account is suspended makes no sense whatsoever. And when they try reaching out to customer service to get help with this account suspension that is not valid, they get nothing back. The thing is, a lot of people make a living off of Etsy, so the fact that their customer service is so terrible it's crazy. Like that kind of also goes back to AcidPentagramPizza's story. She was making a living off of her shop on Etsy, and when she got banned, that's like getting fired without any notice at all. And she's 9 months pregnant, she said, and she's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So essentially, she just ended up having to create her own website, but that's still insane. The next thing I want to talk about is drop shippers on Etsy. Etsy used to pride themselves on selling only handmade goods and, supporting small creators, etc. But the amount of drop shipping that occurs on Etsy now is insane. What I mean by that is poorly made, mass produced goods from overseas, which are similar to what you could find on Temu or Shein, and they're being sold for way over what they're worth.
But some of you who have recommended getting higher quality items on Etsy are being completely bamboozled and fooled, duped, tricked, led astray with the tomfoolery because those same items are on Temu and Shein, and people are buying them in bulk and then reselling them for 2, 3, 4, 10 times the price on Etsy. And y'all are thinking that it's a good deal and that it's coming from a small business.
And the problem with that is it's really hard to identify drop shippers. But one piece of advice I'd have for you if you are a frequent Etsy shopper is if the listing looks too good to be true, like there's really high quality photos and that whatever they're making, it's like it's clearly difficult to hand make stuff like that. It's likely drop shipped. Now, this leads into my next point, which is there is so much AI on Etsy. It's disgusting. And they allow it to happen. They do not care. One example of this that I found is illustrators who create portraits that are cartoon style, and it's clearly AI. It's so disappointing to me, honestly. And the thing is, it just takes away opportunities from real artists and real creators to sell their handmade goods and to make a profit off of their talent. So anyways, I just am very frustrated with Etsy. The fact that I barely, like, I was taking a look at my revenue versus expenses for 2024. Etsy took like 30% of my profit, and I barely made profit last year, even though I think my shop did quite well for my first year. So anyways, I'm probably going to consider starting my own website. If you've had any shitty experiences on Etsy, please comment. I would love to read about it. If you enjoyed the video or you agree with anything I said, give the video a like, please. It helps me so much, and I very much appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.